It's Trial Tuesday, and today we're talking about what to do if you're involved in a car accident. Attorney David Aylor joins us with some important legal advice. David, good to have you here.
Good morning.
And you wanted to talk about this because you see this frequently, you know, when people come to you. So what's the first step if you're in a car accident?
Well, obviously you want to make sure that the police are called there at the scene. A lot of times people will switch information, get each other's driver's license information, and then try to deal with it later. But the issue with that, of course, is that the insurance company many times will actually disregard any type of claim you're making because you don't actually have that report from the police officer showing who's at fault.
That's interesting. So at what point, even if it's just a minor fender bender, you think it's minor, you're like, hey, just give me your number. Do we need to still call the police for that? You
do, because if you think about it, if you've ever had an issue with a car that's been, you know, some sort of minor injury, what it actually costs at the body shop is usually somewhat of a sticker shock. So what you often see, and I've had many people call my office, will say, hey, this person said they knew it was their fault, they ran into the back of me or the side of me, they're willing to pay. Well, now they're not. They think that it's too much money from the body shop or whatever may be done to the car that needs to be fixed. And at that point, if you try to turn to their insurance company, it's easy for their insurance company to say, you know what, we're not taking any kind of claim because you have no report to show that our driver, who was the insured person, is actually at fault.
That's interesting. So what if it seems minor and you're like, look, I want to call the police, let's get this documented, and they're like, no, I'm in a hurry for work, here's my number, and they take off. I'm sure that happens.
That does happen, and that's when the actual point that you want to make sure you get their information, because they could be arrested. Because no matter what type of property damage you have, whether it be a vehicle, if you hit a mailbox, basically anything, you're supposed to stay at the scene if there's any damage. So if there's even the minor damage to your car, sometimes people want to leave the scene because either A, they may be in a hurry, or they may also not have a driver's license, or potentially could be under the influence. So there's a number of different circumstances where you really want to safeguard it and make sure that you do call the police.
Okay, so even if they take off, get their number, you stay there
get
and
that tag. Exactly, absolutely.
Now if something's obviously more serious, you're injured, you know, your first priority is to seek care, but then where does it progress after that?
Well, you know, obviously if you're in the car by yourself, you want to make sure you call 911 and get to the hospital as quick as possible. Taking the ambulance is probably your best decision. Sometimes people want to try to drive themselves, not realize how injured they are. Beyond that, if anyone's left on the scene, it's important, of course, to get just not the report, but also witness statements. Sometimes an officer may arrive late or not actually get to speak with everyone who actually saw the incident if people leave. If you have those phone numbers, you have their contact information. If there is an issue down the line with the other driver's insurance, that sort of thing, these people really can play a crucial role.
So insurance will accept that if I'm at the scene and I'm okay, but I'm going around and asking people, hey, can you tell me what you saw?
Right, you know, and just making sure you get their name and number. Sometimes people literally say, hey, I saw this, but I got to go pick up my child, I've got to go to work, that sort of thing. At least you have their name and number. You can turn that over to the police. If they're not interested and you're looking at it from the civil side, you're still able to contact those people and find out exactly what they saw, which could definitely help you in the long run, because those disputes definitely do start with those insurance companies.
Regarding car accidents, what's the #1 reason people come to you?
Usually it's because they've been injured in an accident and they haven't moved forward at all. They've either talked with the insurance company themselves, or they really haven't tried to make any claims, and then their injury starts to worsen. So it's very important to make sure that once you get the report, you know, obviously you start to seek treating immediately, but speak with legal counsel. Whether you decide to actually hire an attorney or not, it's important to at least get some guidance, because a lot of times people will make statements to the insurance companies, not realizing that those statements actually can damage their claim, and then something that seemed very minor, maybe a strain, a stress, a fracture, that sort of thing, ends up being surgery and goes on and on from there, where you're having issues getting the coverage.
Yeah, now I know each case is individual, but is there an estimated or average timeline that it takes for you to see payout from insurance in a lot of these things?
Well, you know, it depends on how much treatment you need. You know, you're going to get as much treatment as possible needed by the doctors, and then it goes from there, and then you're going to really try to start working the settlement. And if it doesn't work then you're talking about a trial.
Okay, all right. Attorney David Aylor, always a pleasure to have you.
Thanks for having me.
On Trial Tuesday. And stick with us, we've got much more Low Country Live in just a moment.